Hi, my name is Mike. Welcome to my vlog about football in general and Burnley FC in particular. A vlog this week is kind of breaking a rule in that I usually do these about 48 hours after the game in order to kind of gather my thoughts and let myself calm down and all that kind of stuff. And, well, I feel about as flat about the game as the lunchtime kickoff atmosphere was. So I'm just going to do it sort of straight away because I'm not really going to come up with anything new or interesting or insightful between now and, say, Monday night. Also, I have a very busy weekend, so I don't know if I'm going to get time. Anyway, Clarets lose 2-0 at home to Chelsea in a lunchtime kickoff that is a bit of a frustrating one, is a bit of a disappointing one. Now, I'm not going to turn around and say we deserve to win, because I think for the second home game in a row, we didn't have a shot on goal. For the second game in a row, we came up with a team that spent £1 billion on its squad. And to be honest, that Chelsea squad is closer to us than they are to Arsenal. That is not a particularly good Chelsea team. They've spent a lot. They've got good players. I think in summary, why did Chelsea win this game? Because they have better players. And that's one of those frustrating ones. Clarets, I think, in the first half were pretty damn good. And then couldn't really take advantage of it. I thought we were much, or as much, the equal of Chelsea. I think Chelsea were... Was that us being good or Chelsea being disappointed? Or... yeah, I think it was us being good. Because we weren't really allowing Chelsea to play a certain way. I mean, when we saw Arsenal a couple of weeks ago, or a few weeks ago, Arsenal let us play as well as they wanted us to let us play. Whereas I think this Chelsea team, we were finding holes, we were breaking the press, we were creating attacking opportunities. The problem is we don't really have much in the way of end product. If we'd have gone 1-0 up, it would not have been undeserved. We should have gone 1-0 up because we had the penalty, which, you know, the goalie puts the ball down in his 6-yard box, kicks it to the defender, who's standing in the 6-yard box, puts his hand on it, and takes the goal kick. And I've gone on about this before. Laws and conventions. It's a convention until it becomes a law. It's a law of the game until it becomes a convention. And that is a penalty. Except the ref didn't give it, and VAR didn't give it. And it's so hard not to go tinfoil hat on this stuff. Because it's a penalty. And it has been given, if I remember rightly. Villa gave one up last season in the Champions League. They gave one up in exactly that scenario. What can you do? I mean, literally, you saw what happened. The VAR sees what happened. And they don't give it. Oh, it's just a convention, really. Oh, right. Yeah, well, it was a law suddenly when our man dives in the box away at Man United in the last minute to give them a winner. And like I say, it's hard not to get tinfoil hat about this stuff. You know, the Calafiori dive. Again, what are we doing here? This is a frustrating guy. What are we doing here with the officiating? What is the fucking point, to be blunt? Maybe I should have waited 48 hours. When that happens, what's the excuse? But, you know, Dubravka gives away a corner for holding the ball too long. Okay, that's the rule. Yeah, we know the rule. He broke the rule. They broke the rule. Clear as day. There's a VAR to look at it. Don't happen. Anyway, is that the reason for the defeat? No, absolutely not. But should Clarets have gone 1-0 up, then we got a different game. Yeah, it was so annoying. You kind of knew that Chelsea had the quality to score. And then they smashed the ball forward to their £63 million left back, who passes it back to their £50 million winger, who crosses it for a £50 million winger who's in great form to score a goal past Dubravka. And you're like, oh, for God's sake. Because that one was harsh. That imbalance of play was harsh. But balance of play is the thing I've always said with Scott Parker. Is, balance of play, it should be this. On balance of play, it should be that. I said this last year. Balance of play, we should be winning these games, we're drawing 0-0. Balance of play, we should have been 1-up, but we weren't. That's football. Deal with it. I thought, okay, that's okay. We've still got a goal in us. We've still got a goal in this game. We're going at half time 1 down, but okay, I'm fine. They played really well. No complaints about the way they played. And then we come out just flat. Like all the confidence are just drained from the team. And I do genuinely believe that staying in the Premier League is 80% confidence. Look at Sunderland. We handled Sunderland at the start of the season 2-0. And they had a chance to go in second today because they've got confidence. And we kind of don't, and you kind of see it draining a little bit because we haven't put together 90 minutes this season yet. Sunderland, maybe. Slept since then. Leeds, maybe. But we haven't really put 90 minutes together. That first half, if we'd have just carried on, there was a 1-1 draw there. Was there enough to win it? Probably not. Could Chelsea have gone up an extra gear? Don't know. That's a team that has spent a lot of money, shown by the second goal, a lot of money to basically sit back away to Burnley and try to hit on the break. And also, a lot of gamesmanship and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's the modern game. What can you do? Again, this is where I do defend the officials. What can the officials do when the players are faking injury? When the players are, literally, falling over, crying wolf. What can you do as an official? There isn't the rules. You ain't got the tools in the rule book to do anything about it. Chelsea was such a lightweight side. And I mean that, we're not like bruisers. But was there a physical battle that our players lost? How many times did a Chelsea player end up on the floor having lost a battle? And a physical battle. Not like they were fouled. Just lost a physical battle. They ended up on the floor and we're going away with the ball. Weird, because, previous Chelsea sides are, well, no, say Mourinho, they were physical teams, they were bruisers as well as players. Arsenal are bruisers as well as players, Man United, Liverpool, physical. This Chelsea team is so easily knocked off the ball, it's surprising. But we couldn't take advantage. But in terms of performances, no one really stood out today. Did they actually do a man of the match? I'm trying to remember. Don't think they did. But anyway, Steve was really good. Cullen was good. I liked the starting 11 that Parker picked. Although we went to two at the front with Broja and Parker, and we were threatening Chelsea, threatening an equaliser. Yeah, there was the breakaway and they scored the second. But we were kind of threatening, and that's 2 up front. We're basically going 4-4-2. What could we do better? That's the frustrating thing. I said last time we've got to have a conversation about Jaiden Anthony. We have nothing down that left-hand side. Nothing down that left-hand side. And I think we are wasting a season of Hartman because he's got no one to really work with. There's no one on that left-hand side that he can work with. This is the thing. We've got to have that conversation about Jaiden Anthony. What is he bringing to the team? What is he bringing to the starting 11? But then we've also got to have the conversation of who could do better. Because who else would you replace him with? Hannibal? Okay, you're lacking creativity and your solution is Hannibal. Okay, Marcus Edwards. Well, he's a right winger. And you're losing... Okay, you get creativity, you lose... Well, you're not gaining defensively. Let's put it that way. Anthony does his thing, but he's not defensively solid. But he's more defensively solid than Marcus Edwards. Brun Larson, wrong side of the pitch. We're in this weird situation where we don't really have left wingers. Mike Trezor? No. Again, that's just Jaiden Anthony. That's just Marcus Edwards again. So we don't have anything on that left-hand side. And putting Hannibal there, he's a defensive midfielder, really. He's not a creative midfielder. He runs around a lot. Yeah, runs around more than Jaiden Anthony does. Yeah. Are we gaining by putting him there? I don't know, but there's a conversation to be had about performance levels. He's just invisible out there, is Anthony. Not giving us anything. Is he costing us anything? Apart from opportunity? Don't know. Just, there's if you... I don't want to use the word passenger because he's not a passenger, but I'm just failing to see in a 11 or in a team that is crying out for something, what he's bringing, and what he's bringing that's keeping someone else out. And I don't like being the kind of person who goes, well, he's the problem, without suggesting a solution. And I'm not sure what the solution is. But I'm not sure that's the answer. Maybe there's someone in January, I don't know. What else? Right. Broja comes on. Bit of a nuisance. Not great, not bad. Not really got enough time to make an impact after Fleming, who had a really good game, by the way. I criticise Fleming for being a bit loose with his arms and his legs when fouling. I thought he won most of his physical battles today and had a good game with what he had. The problem is he needs three chances to score one. He really, really should have done better with the chance he had. And then Broja comes on with Foster. We go two at the front. I thought it kind of worked. Foster on the left-hand side. I'd prefer him to Anthony for a match. Maybe he is the answer. But anyway, Broja's there. Then he does his ankle under that tackle, and everyone else is like, oh my God, because, you know, it's a miracle recovery to see him stretch it off on Monday, earlier in the week, and then he's back and playing, and he's rolling around again like he's really, really done that ankle, and then just kind of hops up and limps to the middle. It's like, oh, that's how the miracle happened. It wasn't really that bad after all. He's got to kind of cut that out a little bit, either that or really become an actor, because he had me fooled, and he had a lot of people in the ground fooled with that. But it turned out it wasn't. Aside from that, yeah, they nicked the one in the last minute, and, you know, there's a £100 million player scores a goal. Anyway, that's what the Premier League is. That's what we're up against. We're dropping to the relegation zone. What could be better? What could Parker do better? What could the team have done better? Set up tactics correct at the start. Playing really well. They just need to put 90 minutes together. They just need to get that confidence for 90 minutes, to play the way they played in that first half hour for 90 minutes. Because it shows, it's so frustrating, they show the glimpses of what is possible. Is it possible for this team to stay up? Maybe, if they play like they did in that first half hour. Does it look likely? No, not really, because of the way they played in the last 45. But that's, you know, I'm not going to criticise too much, it's just a bit frustrating that, you know, this is what we are. Is there someone around who we can bring in to do a job in the second half of the season? I don't know. Really don't know. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, flat atmosphere being a lunchtime kickoff. I mean, I got up at like 7 a.m. because I had visited a few people before the match, rushing to get to the game. Flat atmosphere inside the ground. No one was inside the actual stadium part of the ground with 10 minutes to go. Said that before about atmosphere. That contributes to lack of atmosphere because everyone was in the concourses. Not really much noise from anyone, including the Chelsea lot until he went 2 up. Yeah, that's about it. Oh, one thing that did occur to me, I mentioned the £1 million thing. Is there any club that embodies buying success in the Premier League more than Chelsea? Just leaving that out there. Because Man United kind of earned it with their income and then bought a lot and not much success over the last decade. Liverpool, nah. They've kind of earned it. Arsenal have earned it. Man City, they've bought, but they've bought sensibly. Whereas Chelsea have spent 2 decades full of dodgy Russian money and dodgy arrangements with Belgian teams, among others, and then, you know, look into they're bought by a billionaire who's busy financial engineering his way around the rules. Anyway, it just occurred to me. It's one of those idle thoughts, but it's kind of, this is what you're up against. Really, you're up against money that Burnley can't afford to spend, buying players of quality that Burnley can't match, except in team endeavour. Deitch managed to get the team endeavour over 90 minutes, and that moment, as he always said, small moments. He managed to get that. Parker has not done so yet. We need that team endeavour for 90 minutes, and we need players who understand to take the small moments. Frustrating one, disappointing one, annoying one. We didn't leave 3 points on the table, but we certainly left one. and we drop into the relegation places. So that's kind of like, the schedule does get a bit easier. I'm not one for harping about schedules and looking at run-ins and all that kind of stuff, but we've had a harsh schedule for the second Premier League season in a row. We played 12 games. If I remember rightly, we played 8 teams that are in Europe. 7 or 8. I think there's only Newcastle left. Everyone else is in Europe. We played all those. And we've had Man United, Wolves, Sunderland, Leeds as the others. It should theoretically get easier. Quotes easier, but we got Palace, we got Newcastle, Brentford. We really need to pick up points. By hook or by crook, we need to pick up points. Let's hope they do. In the meantime, if you like this one, sorry, it's not the greatest in-depth one, but it wasn't that kind of game in that kind of atmosphere. That's just, life of the Premier League. So, in the meantime, if you like the vlog, please click the like button. If you give us a subscribe, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Thank you and hello to the people who said hello and thank you today and come up to me after before the game and sort of say they enjoy the vlog. Thank you very much for your support. And in the meantime, up the Clarets.